You can see by doing this how quickly it sets in the ladle as it's going through. So you have to work fairly fast because it'll set in the pan that we're sieving it through now as well. So we're nearly there. We've just got about one more ladleful, and that'll do one or two of the candles. So here we go, final process, the pouring into the candle mould. You have to pour it very carefully because it goes all over the place, and you fill the moulds just about to the top, but you do have to pour slowly because you mustn't get air into the candle when you're doing it. So that's the first one done. That's the little beehive. This is the awkward one to pour because it's only a very small hole. You just have to move the wick slightly to the side. And there we are. We have the 3 candles now full of wax, and the next, all we've got to do now is wait, and you'll be waiting roughly a couple of hours at least for the candles to set, and we'll come back and then show you what they look like when we undo the elastic bands. So the candles have now set and they've been left overnight, and here comes the unveiling process. So first of all, we're going to start off with the large candle. So it's a matter of undoing the bands on the top, taking off the pieces of timber, then taking off the lecky bands, and then we've got to look then for the seam on the latex, and the seam is just there, so we just open the seam up very gently, and then you'll be able to see the candle will just come out of just like that. So there we are, there's one with all the bees on it. So it's now a matter of, as they say, trimming the wick, very old-fashioned term this. And then all that's left to do with the candle now, we have to cut the bottom of it, and also of course you have to get the bottom of the candle flat. Not going to show you that process, but it's just a matter of getting the bottom of the wax warm and just resting it on a flat surface, and then you have your candle finished. And there we are. The next stage will be just to put it in some wrapping, ready for us to sell it to you. Now let's move on to the next one. We're now looking at, this is the little skep. Again, it's the same process. Removing the sticks. Sometimes they get a bit stuck. And again, just find the seam, open the seam up, and we're going to pull the candle through, and here we are. And here's our little skep for you. I'll just go in and show you close up so you can see what it looks like. There we are. Again, it's cut the wick, and we'll sort the base out later on. And there's our little skep. And our third candle then is here. I expect you can hear the birds singing in the background. We've come outside today, which is so lovely. Can't do this indoors. And again, find the seam, open the seam up, and there we are. Isn't that lovely? And that's the third candle. Again, we've got to trim the wick off. and we'll clean up the base later. So there you have it. There's the three, it might not, so it has stood up on its own. There's the 3 candles for you to have a look at. Aren't they lovely? Hours of work. That's why they're not particularly cheap to make, or when you have to buy them in the shops. So there we are, candles made. Just got to light them now.